trying to think of something to ask you.
Right, Ruth's going to ask me a few questions now.
I can't think of any.
If she can think of any. So when you're ready, Ruth.
So what would you say is your biggest motivation now at this stage in your life?
Well, I guess, oh, I'll try and not make this too long-winded, but obviously my husband died 2 years ago, and for the last 2 years I've been doing a lot of, you know, inner healing and praying and soul searching and just looking at lots of areas of my life, and I just feel that I'm getting stuck in a rut of how my life has always been, you know, of making excuses of why I can't do this, why I can't do that. I try a bit and then stop, try a bit and then stop. And I just feel now my life is sort of, I'm ready to move forward, and there's lots, I know there's lots of things ahead that I'm looking forward to in my life. There's lots of possibilities, and I know there's a future for me and the children, and I just feel that my weight is a major factor that's stopping me from moving forward into that future. It's almost like I can't step into that. I guess it's a bit like I'm in a chapter of my life that I'm stuck in, and I need to go to the next chapter, but I can't get to the next chapter because of this great big block wall of fat, and just it's something in the way. And I think a major part of it is the fact that I need to lose this weight, and it's stopping me from moving forward. And there's so many things that I'm trying to have now that I know I can't have until I've lost this weight. And I will be updating a bit more on that in another video later on, but some of it's quite personal, so I don't want to, you know, flood it at the moment. So, but it's basically just stuff in the future that I know that I'm aiming, well, not aiming for, but I feel that there's a purpose for me in life, and that there's stuff there for me waiting to have. I don't know, I can't explain what I mean, but I know what I mean. So, yeah.
Right, okay.
Does that explain it?
Yeah.
Good. I'm stuck, basically. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's what someone said on a blog the other day.
Yeah.
And I'm sick and tired of being fed up and moaning. I'm sick and tired of complaining about my weight. I'm sick and tired of going to parties or get-togethers or christenings or whatever, and an overweight person talk to me about weight.
Yeah.
Because I'm overweight too, and talking about the buffet and what they shouldn't eat, and my mum saying to me, "Oh, should you have that? You shouldn't be eating that." And I'm sick of it. I'm sick and tired of it being the whole focus of my life.
Yeah.
You know, I want to focus on other things. There's so many other things that I could be concentrating on and passionate about. And I just, I need to dedicate this year to this so that I can move on to the next things.
I found that is one of the good things about losing weight, that people don't tend to focus on how fat I am anymore, and actually start to look at me as a person and start talking to me about other things rather than just fat
Do you
issues.
notice that?
Yeah, definitely. And people don't nag me about my weight so much now, and saying, "Oh, should you eat that?" and that sort of thing, because they can see that I've lost weight, and they are pleased about that. Some people still lecture me about, "Oh, you've got to lose more," but a lot of people have been very positive, and that's very encouraging.
I'll tell you one thing as well, I don't know if you find this, but the way I feel now, because I'm so overweight now, I find that if I'm outside in a cafe, and I say, for instance, I wouldn't do this, by the way, bloggers, not at the moment anyway, but if say, for instance, this is over in the past, if I had decided to buy myself a nice cake and a cup of coffee, and I sat down in the cafe, imagine, you know, and I'm eating this cake, and the whole time I am conscious of what people are thinking of me eating this cake.
That fat person eating
Look
that
at
cake.
no wonder she's fat, she's eating that cake.
Yes, I've
you
been
know,
there.
now I've seen slim people eat cakes and think, how come she's eating that and she's so slim?
Yeah.
I want to be that. I want to be one of those people that eat a cake occasionally, and people say, "Cool, where's all that cake go? Look how slim she is, or look how well she, you know." So yes, I want people to be looking at. Not that I worry about what other people think, 'cause I'm not doing this for other people, but it's just another factor that, you know, that would be nice to be able to say, you know, is there. So
I mean, that is one factor in my life that I need to address even more now. I have addressed it over the last 4 years, in that I eat a lot less of cakes and things, but I have been known since being diabetic to still eat a whole piece of cake, and I really mustn't do that because my blood sugar does have to stay very much under control now, so a whole piece of cake would be far too much for me to eat. So I must get used to saying, no, I can't have that piece of cake. If I want a treat, I'll eat, I don't know, a portion of chips or something. You know, only occasionally, I hasten to add.
my treat is a Diet Coke, by the way.
Rather than something sweet, I will have something savoury, is what I was trying to get at.
But chips.
But not chips, no. Of course not, no.
Dipped in mayonnaise?
Oh, no.
Ketchup?
No.
No.
Barbecue sauce, possibly.
No.
But that's got sugar in
You
it.
should be thinking about that anyway. We're meant to be healthy.
I think the idea of having a Diet Coke as a treat is a very good one.
Well, that's why some people always say, well, I just have Diet Coke every day and have it as part of my diet. But for me, it's something I can look forward to that's not going to put weight on.
And you, when I'm being good on the diet, I tend to look at, if I want to buy a treat, I'll buy a nice portion of fruit. You can buy those little packets with really nice fruit in them. I'll buy one of those and treat myself to that. Or I'll make myself one of my sugar-free recipes and indulge in that rather than something I shouldn't eat. And I can control it that way.
Another thing I find, I don't know about you feel this, but I feel there's so many foods out there and they're sort of categorised into what you should eat and what you shouldn't eat, right?
Yeah.
I want to get to the stage where I don't think of it as I shouldn't eat that, but I just choose not to.
Yeah.
You know, so that I'm not like eating it as a treat. Because would it's a bit like saying to a child, you shouldn't smoke, but as a treat you can have a cigarette.
Yeah.
In a way it's the same sort of thing, isn't it? You know, that's bad for you. Or saying to someone who's I don't know, I'm trying to give you an example, but if you get my drift, but why are we using something that's going to damage us as a treat?
Yeah.
It's sort of negative. It's just too negative. Well, not too negative, but it's what I mean.
Well, this is where for dieters it's a bit harder. I'm not saying it's easy to give up smoking or drinking or something like that, but you can say, if you're giving up one of those things, right, I can't have it anymore, I'm never going to have it. But with food you can't do that because you do have to eat.
And I think society plays a big part in it, because when you think of all these supermarkets that are trying to advertise their products because they want you to buy in their supermarket, and all these companies that make these products, convenience foods, because everyone wants quick fix foods these days.
Yeah.
So they're coming out of all these foods that are so bad for you. That's got all these trans fats in, and all these processed foods that are just they're man-made, and man-made stuff is really, in the end, what damages us the most. If you go back to natural basic foods, you know, the way it was many years ago, then you know you haven't got a problem. But these man-made, it's like, I guess it's a bit like, I don't know, it's a bit like getting a glass of chemicals and saying to yourself, I'm going to drink these chemicals, even though they're bad for me, because it's a treat. I mean, it's not quite the same, but by eating all this rubbish, you're putting all this stuff into your body that shouldn't be there. It's not natural to be in your body. It hasn't been made to be in our body. Well, man has made it, obviously, but they've made it they haven't made it to help us. They've made it to sell the product, or they've made it to get our money, basically.
Yeah.
Haven't they? They haven't made it to help us. You know, what God has made is to help us, and what God made is all the natural foods. Well, they're all there. The natural foods are there for us, you know. And it's because He wants us to be healthy. So, you know, makes sense, doesn't it, when you think about it?
So shall we watch this? Because I'd
I'm
like to
gonna
see what we look like now. We didn't ask each other many questions.